In this video, we will review the initial material order page and the rules around the initial material orders for each of the state assessments. The initial order page will look different for each assessment based on the rules of ordering and materials available. Even for assessments that material orders are based on pre-identification of students, you should always verify that the counts are accurate and that shipping information is correct. Materials are sent to the assessment coordinator listed in the Educational Entity Master, also known as the EEM. The materials are not sent to the school or district address, but to the coordinator's address for that assessment. For example, SAT materials will be sent to the SAT test coordinator listed in the EEM and to the address entered for the SAT coordinator for that school. If the coordinator name and address listed on the initial material order page is incorrect, please work with your authorized district EEM user to update it in the EEM before the posted material order deadline. Let's look at each of the assessment order pages now. Once logged onto the Secure Site, from the Assessment Registration menu, select Material Orders and then Initial Material Order. We're going to look at the SAT first, so from the test cycle drop-down, I will select the SAT. Select your ISD, district, and school if it is not already populated for you, and click the search button at the bottom right. If you are a district level user of the Secure Site and do not select a school, then all buildings that are established for the SAT would be listed in the search results. Under the search results, there are columns with information, or the order number and status will be assigned after the order deadline and OEAA has closed out the order. Once the order has been completed, a shipping link will appear under the order summary column. This will take you to the Material Order Summary Report page where you can verify the materials that were shipped along with the tracking information. The pre-ID total for paper count will display the number of students that are pre-identified for the SAT. Since the SAT is only offered in paper and pencil for Michigan, the number should always be equal to the number of students pre-identified for testing. Okay, let's click the Preview Form link under the Open Order column. The shipping destination field is set to school and cannot be changed to ship to district for the SAT. The address field should contain the name and address of the school SAT test coordinator. If it is incorrect, work with the authorized district EEM user to get it corrected before the initial material order deadline. Moving down to the material counts, you will see that only the SAT standard test booklets is listed. Based on our rules for SAT, the initial material order for standard test books is based on the number of students pre-identified in the Secure Site to the SAT assessment and should be displayed in the SAT Standard Test Booklets Material Count column. The quantity will adjust when students are pre-identified or unassigned from the test cycle through the posted initial material order deadline. Accommodated versions of the SAT are set based on the applications submitted in the College Board's SSD system. There is nothing for you to do on this page other than verify the information is correct. Next, let's take a look at the PSAT. There is a different test cycle for each grade level, and each will need to be reviewed. The search result columns are the same as the ones that we went through with the SAT. Select the Preview Form link under the Open Column Order. The shipping destination field is set to school and cannot be changed to ship to the district for PSAT. Make sure the address field contains the name and address of the PSAT coordinator based on the grade level of the test cycle selected. The PSAT coordinator may be different for each of the grade levels. Moving down to the material counts, you will see that only the PSAT standard test booklet is listed. Based on our rules for PSAT, the initial material order for standard test booklets is based on the number of students pre-identified in the Secure Site to the PSAT assessment and should be displayed in the PSAT standard test booklets material count column. The quantity will adjust when schools are pre-identified or unassigned from the test cycle through the posted initial material order deadline. Accommodated versions of the PSAT are sent based on the applications submitted in the College Board's SSD system. There is nothing for you to do on this page directly other than verify the information is correct. Now let's take a look at the work keys test cycle. The search result columns are the same as we went through for the SAT and PSAT. Under the Open Order column, click on Create Order, Update Order, or View Order. The link name will vary based on the timeline. The shipping destination field is set to school and again cannot be changed to ship to district for the work keys. Check the address section and verify that the name and address in the address box is the school's work keys test coordinator. Let's scroll down now to the material count section. With work keys, the standard time regular print book material count will be populated based on the number of students pre-identified to the work keys assessment on the Secure Site. The quantity of standard time regular print books will adjust when students are pre-identified or unassigned from the test cycle through the posted initial material order deadline. With work keys, you do not need approval from ACT for accommodated versions of the assessment. Therefore, you can order based on it from the initial material order screen. I want to point out that to order the Braille booklets, you will need to identify the student that requires the materials. Click on the Select Students link under the Action column. Select the student from the list that will be using the materials. If you'd like, you can filter this list by typing in the filter box the student's last name or partial last name. Click on this filter icon and click on Starts With. This will filter your list based on the information that you typed in the filter box. To clear the filter, click on the filter icon, select No Filter. Once you have selected the student or students from the list, click the Submit button at the bottom right. Now you may not have noticed, before we selected those two students, our material count was 67. Now it's down to 65. It adjusted the standard time regular print book material count based on the numbers that are entered for any of the accommodated versions. You can update the Braille booklets by clicking on the Select Students button again and selecting or deselecting students. All other accommodated orders on the materials list can be ordered by entering a number under the material count column. Don't forget to click the Save button at the bottom right to save your entries. You can continue to update the order through the deadline posted for the initial material orders. Now let's take a look at the MSTEP initial material order. The search results for the MSTEP is a little different than what we have already looked at. In addition to the other columns we discussed earlier, there are two columns for delivery dates based on grade levels. This will be populated based on the selection on the next page. There is a column for testing online. Since the MSTEP is an online test, all schools are expected to test online unless a waiver was submitted for the school and it was approved. The pre-ID total for paper column will display the number of students that are pre-identified for the MSTEP, and the mode of testing is set for paper and pencil. Under the Open Order column, click on Create Order, Update Order, or View Order. The link name will vary based on the timeline. With MSTEP, a district-level user can select school or district from the shipping destination. Only a district level can do this, and caution should be used because it will be applied to all schools in the district. For example, if district is selected for one school, all initial material orders for MSTEP for each school in the district will be sent to the district coordinator. Verify the name and address in the address box is the MSTEP coordinator for the district or school, depending on the shipping destination selected. If it is incorrect, work with the district authorized EEM user to get it updated before the deadline. There will be two options for shipment dates for two groups of grade levels that you can select between to accommodate the school's spring break schedule. Now let's look at the material count section. First, notice the tabs with the different grade levels. The grade levels displayed are based on the grade levels listed in the educational entity master for the school. If these are incorrect, the EEM will need to be updated by the authorized district EEM user. If you scroll down, you will see that there is a section for each content area based on the grade level tab that has been selected. Click on each of the grade level tabs to review or add orders for each grade level. The test booklets for the grade level will be populated based on the number of students pre-identified for testing, and the mode of testing is set to paper and pencil. With MSTEP, you can update the test book count on the screen. However, please do not overorder materials. Schools will have an opportunity to order additional materials as needed. To order Braille or in large print, you will need to collect on the select students and select the students from the list, the same as we did earlier for the work keys. Unique to MSTEP are the availability of glossary reference sheets in various languages. Only the Arabic and Spanish can be ordered. These two and all others can be downloaded and printed as needed by clicking the download link to the right of the glossary sheet listing. Let's scroll down to the Science and Social Studies section. You can order CDs, DVDs, and reader scripts. You can enter the number of materials needed under the material count column. The accommodated student count would be the number of students that will be using those materials. Keep in mind that these materials can be used for more than one student, but each student will need a separate test booklet and answer document that correlates with the audio CD and the DVDs and the reader script. So by putting the accommodated student count in, this will ensure that each student receives the appropriate materials to go with the CD, DVD, and reader script. If you make any changes or selections on the page, don't forget to click on the Save button at the bottom right. Once the order is saved, the test booklet counts, which are based on the pre-identification of students, will stop updating. If you need to change the quantity of test booklets after saving, you will need to go back into the material order page by the deadline and change those quantities and save again. If you are viewing this video for the MME and PSAT, this concludes the initial material order for the MME assessments and the PSAT. Please continue to watch for the My Access and WIDA Access if you need information for those assessments also. Now let's take a look at the My Access initial order. The search results for the My Access is set up the same as MSTEP, except that there is only one column for delivery dates. Under the Open Order column, click on the Create Order, Update Order, or View Order link. The link name will vary based on the timeline. With My Access, a district level user can select school or district from the shipping destination. Only a district level user can do this and should use caution because it will be applied to all schools in the district. For example, if district is selected for one school, all initial material orders for My Access for each school in the district will be sent to the district coordinator. Verify that the name and address in the address box is the My Access coordinator for the school or district depending on the shipping destination selected. If it is incorrect, work with the district authorized EEM user to get it updated before the deadline. There will be two options for shipment dates to select between to accommodate the school's spring break schedule. Let's look at the material count section now. First, notice the tabs with the different grade levels. The grade levels displayed are based on the grade levels listed in the Educational Entity Master for the school. If these are incorrect, the EEM will need to be updated by the authorized district EEM user. MyAccess has 3 levels of assessments: Functional Independence, also known as FI, Supported Independence, also known as SI, and Participation, also known as P. If you scroll down, you will see there is a section for each of the 3 assessments. And under FI, it has the content areas based on the selected grade. First, let's talk about the MyAccess Functional Independence, known as FI. The test booklet count will populate based on the number of students pre-identified to the MyAccess FI, and the mode of testing is selected to paper and pencil. You will be able to adjust the test booklet count, but please do not over-order. There will be an opportunity for schools to order additional materials if needed. Expressing ideas for MyAccess FI is only available as paper and pencil and will be sent based on the pre-ID of all students, including those listed online and paper and pencil. To order the enlarged and Braille materials, you will need to use the Select Students link to select the student or students that the materials are being ordered for. And as with work keys and MSTEP, the number of students selected will populate the material count box. Scroll down to the MyAccess Supported Independence, known as SI, and Participation, known as P. There is only one count for SI and P at each grade level. This is the number of assessment administrators. These tests are administered one-on-one with a student, and the administrator in shadow will complete a scoring document. Therefore, the administrator materials can be used for multiple students. Verify and enter the number of administrators that will be administering the test to ensure that you get the correct number of materials based on your number of administrators. Don't forget about the shadow administrators also. If you have made any entries or changes, don't forget to click on the Save button to the bottom right. Once the order is saved, the test booklet counts, which are based on the pre-identification of students, will stop updating. If you need to change the quantity of test booklets after saving, you will need to go back to the initial material order page by the deadline and change those quantities and save again. Now let's take a look at the WIDA Access for ELL's initial material order. We have already discussed the search results page, so under the Open Order column, click on the View Order, Update Order, or Create Order link depending on the timeline. Verify the address field contains the District English Learner Assessment Coordinator and the correct address. The shipping destination defaults to district for WIDA Access and cannot be changed to school. The standard materials for WIDA is based on the students pre-identified to the WIDA assessment, and the mode of testing is selected to paper and pencil. Also, for the WIDA alternate access, the order is based on the students that have been changed from online testing to paper and pencil, and the tier selected is T, and this is done in the WIDA demographic screen for the student on the secure site. The WIDA initial order page does not list the count for the standard or alternate access materials. You can view the student's pre-ID and the mode of testing on the pre-ID student report if needed. You can also view which students have a tier T selected on the pre-ID student report. The only materials that can be ordered is a large print and Braille. As with other assessments, you will need to click the Select Students link and select the students that will be using the materials, and that will populate the material count. If you do enter a count for either of these materials at any grade level, don't forget to click the Save button at the bottom right. This concludes the session of the initial material orders on the OEAA Secure Site. If you need assistance with the initial material orders, please contact the call center at 877-560-8378 and select option 3 from the phone menu, or email mde-oeaa@michigan.gov.